All right, we are back Tuesday night, live from Redhook here at the Function House. And tonight we'd like to welcome to our show DJ Price. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you very much for having me.
Price has been a while.
It has.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming down.
He's a veteran now in New York City.
Thank you. I've been watching your show for a while, and I am very excited to be here. You know,
Thanks,
I've been actually waiting for the phone call
Yeah?
by my bedside.
Madison should have told you a while ago.
All right, let's throw her under the bus.
Welcome, bro. It's nice to have you here, for real.
Oh, no,
we have
thank
a lot
you
of
for
history
having me.
together, me and this guy.
Yeah, for real. One of my oldest friends in this nightlife
I
game.
met him in 2005.
Tell the story. Tell the story of how you guys met.
Him and his friends were trying to hustle us some Jordans, and then they dragged us into some apartment.
It's really hard hustling a hustler.
And yeah, so we were like, yo, these guys are trying to hustle us.
He was a Brooklyn hustler. You had a Manhattan
They had
hustler.
tons of Jordans. Him and his friend Phil and Bo, they had tons of Jordans in the house. We left with a couple pairs.
Those
That
were
was a
fun
good time.
times. Yeah.
That was a good time.
Back then, everything was so fresh and new. You know, you guys opened a sneaker boutique in the Lower East Side. First of all, Lower East Side was like unheard of then.
Yeah.
Very new.
On Stanton Street.
Yeah, I bet the rent was dirt cheap.
I think we were paying $1,800 a month.
Oh, yeah, I would die for that now.
So what was the mind process when you were going to hustle these guys?
Well, we were like, you know what? We didn't really even know much about it because, you know, we were still young in the sneaker game. We were only like 14 or 15 years old, you know, maybe only doing it for a couple of years.
We were 24. I was 24 when I opened up that store. So
you were like, who
we were
are
10
these
years
kids?
like, oh, we're
Yeah.
gonna take their whole collection right now. They knew their shit though.
Yeah,
They were really
yeah.
up. They were really on it.
Yeah, it was fun. And, you know, then we got into T-shirts. That's kind of what happened next. And in the back of our minds, you know, we were all DJing, listening to music, you know, like it's all about the culture, you know, break dancing and graffiti.
So you were born and raised in Manhattan. You said Upper
East Side.
Upper East Side.
Yep.
How did you start DJing?
I started DJing, you know, honestly, the person who probably most influenced me to DJ was A-Track. I remember seeing him win the DMC championship. He was maybe like 14 years old, and I was way younger than him, but only a couple years. And I remember seeing that and being like, you know what? If he can do this, I can do this. I'm gonna buy a little starter pack or something, you know, like however they sold it, you know, it was probably like $300, $400 for your little starter set. I'm just gonna nerd out in my bedroom and until my mom complains.
Was there any musical influence in the house, or this was just totally seeing A-Track? And
another reason why I wanted to DJ is because, you know, I tried everything. Guitar, drums, singing.
So you had the music bug.
Yeah, I wanted to succeed in the music bug. Could not put it together. DJing came around, and finally something hit. Something clicked. I figured out I could just, all I had to do was just like have a good ear, listen to music, and blend two songs together, and like that could be my instrument. I was sold.
So it worked out. So what year was it? You like 15 when you started?
Yeah,
16?
2001, you know. I remember I started high school in like 2001. So.
how long did it take you before you actually started mixing, knew how to match beats?
Oh man, well that probably took me a couple of years, 2 or 3.
Train wrecking.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
train
It's
wrecking.
crazy how it took you. Like back then, it took you 3 or 4 years to actually get it.
Yeah.
Now people are picking up on DJing like 4 months, 5 months, and
Yeah.
they pick
Well,
up.
because
In
it's
a
all
night,
visual now.
It's all visual.
It's all
Yeah,
visual.
it's all
You're
visual.
staring at a computer screen, and you know sometimes when I DJ even out nowadays, I just kind of like put the screen away and I go back to the old school ways of how I would do it. You know, like, and sometimes it's quicker that way.
Yeah. You've started on vinyl.
Yep.
So you still have your vinyl?
No.
Got rid
No,
of it.
we had to get. I mean, come on, Manhattan. We had to get
Storage
rid of
bills.
Yeah, storage bills. No,
So
I
you
kept all the important records. And actually, you know what's really cool about my record collection is AM had a sale. DJ AM had a sale, and I bought a ton of his records, and I kept them
Really?
all.
Wow.
And they have the stickers on them. They have the little notches on them. They have like notes on them and stuff. And I bought them,
Don't
and I
ever
kept
sell
those.
them.
No.
You can never sell them.
No.
Wow,
I
that
still have, like, a
actually,
little-
that was like from his personal collection.
Yeah, it was like, I think it might have been for charity. It was a few years ago. I had my friend from Los Angeles, Julian Warshaw, if he's listening. He went out there and he stood in line and like bought whatever he could. There were like a bunch of 80s records, songs I really wouldn't even like. But
They might, I mean, you're seeing today how like original vinyl records are worth so much money. Like Anthony and I went to a record store that's not too far from here, and like original like Michael Jackson album, like I think his Bad album, it was an original one wrapped in plastic, selling for $100. You know, so original vinyl is super expensive.
Vinyl's also coming back as a trend now, where people are going out and searching for it and buying it. Like I heard recently, even vinyl sales are like outselling.
Well, they're up from zero.
Yeah.
So that's what,
it's
when
a
they
little
say
skewed.
vinyl sales are up, they're up from zero.
Yep.
So they're there. But what it is now is producers are releasing vinyl only songs. So they'll make a track and this one's going to be exclusive on vinyl.
Yeah,
So you
it's all
can't get
about
it
the
unless you
artwork,
buy
too,
the vinyl.
and the packaging. That's also what I always loved about DJing and music, and the whole industry is it's the packaging, the way you open it up, the box, the inserts.
The records like this.
Yeah, or like the it's colored, or it's got a certain.
It was cool because like the other day I saw online, you know, somebody like opened up. I remember like a record store getting like maybe 24 records in the box, so they're cutting the box open, opening up, and they pull out the stack of like 24 copies of like an album or a record. There was a video online the other day that I was watching, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like it brings back memories of like how it was in the record stores, you know.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in record stores like Beat
Fat
Street,
Beats.
Fat Beats,
Definitely in the early
Disco-Rama.
2000s.
There was a ton of
man.
records in
It was a fun
Manhattan.
time.
Ton of record stores.
Yeah, those were Disco-Rama was like a record store you'd go digging in
Yes.
because they just had
Yeah.
like so much shit in
And
there.
It was also a place where you wanted to sell records. You would go there and that guy would buy everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was
they
a great
had a
place.
lot of good finds there. So let's talk about the industry right now. What do you love and hate about this industry we're in?
The DJ industry? Well, it's changed a lot in the past, 12 years. Nightlife, bottle service was new 12 years ago. It was fresh. People wanted to go out. They wanted to spend money. The economy maybe was better. Definitely was better. Sales were up. Budgets were high. Fast forward, times have changed. Survival of the fittest. Clubs are closing every day. Less DJ spots. Police are cracking down on fun. It's tough. I love it all though. I just love going out and spending a good time with your closest friends, listening to music and kind of forgetting about your normal lives and all your problems. And I mean, no matter what changes in nightlife, you'll always want to go out and have a good time and forget about your problems just for a little bit.
So like when you think about having a good time, it has to do with loud music and alcohol. So
Yeah, definitely. And pretty girls. Don't forget about pretty
Yeah.
girls.
So that's where you gravitate towards nightclubs. So I'll always go to nightclubs.
Yeah. I'll always go to nightclubs too. And you know what? I get a lot of research done in nightclubs. You can get a ton of research done in nightclubs.
Yeah. Well, you get research done for another business of yours that we're going to get into,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, of course. But any type of business you want to create, I mean, it's a cesspool of culture
Yep.
in a small room.
Especially if you go into the right places or the hip
who
places.
have a little
Yep.
door policy and only letting in the top tier elite. Oh, I don't know what that means, but
Right.
it's they're doing their job so you can do your job.
Yeah.
So DJing has took you into a totally different business. Let's talk about Reason a little bit.
Reason Clothing is a brand that me and my best friend started about 12 years ago. We were screen printing t-shirts in our living room in a tiny apartment in the East Village. We were 19. This is the same apartment that you came over to and bought sneakers from.
Yep.
And we just started selling them to cool stores. Our friends were working in the coolest shops in all of Manhattan, the Nom de Guerre, Union, Reed Space, cool stores that all three of them don't exist today. They are not around in New York City anymore. And we just had cool ideas, put them on a t-shirt, sold them. And we kind of created something out of nothing.
Yep.
And it snowballed from making t-shirts to hats, and then I don't even know what came next, but everything came next. Denim, jackets, sneakers, bags, ashtrays.
What do you think was the tipping point for you guys?
Oh, we've had so many tipping points. This is actually why I think we've been so successful, is that we've just had hits. And we're in a hit-driven business, kind of like the music business. And I have a lot of friends who work in the music business, and they say it's a hit-driven business. If you don't have a hit, you're not going to succeed. We've had hits. We had the Diplomat. I think our first hit was the Go Love Your Own City. That's a great T-shirt. It was the I Love New York, but it said Go Love Your Own City.
That was a great T-shirt.
Sold a ton of those. It's kind of like a cult classic. After that, we had the Diplomats T-shirt, which was a mashup of the classic Ramones style T-shirt with the most popular rap group of New York City, mid-2000 era, the Diplomats, Dipset. Blended those together. It was kind of like a music mashup, what everyone was playing at the time.
Yep.
And that one was popular. We had a nice run with that. People still want us to come out with that again. And you know what? Even Cameron was mad about it because we had so much success with it. And that's another story. But after that, we had.
Did you have to pay royalties to anybody?
No, never. Actually, we've never been sued successfully. We've gotten our fair share of cease and desists, and have a lawyer who handles that.
So what do you have to do? Do you have to like stop making those shirts, or?
Honestly, it's such a gray line. You know, like the way it works with like cease and desist is they send you a letter. It says you need to stop doing this. Most of the times we kind of like don't reply, act like, oh, it got lost in the mail or something. Just keep going while it's hot.
You know, everybody's watching this. Right?
Yeah, I know. But whatever. While the register's ringing, you know, we're like, all right, whatever. And then eventually, you know, like if it gets too hot, I don't know, third or fourth time around, you're like, send a nice letter. We didn't know. We're just kids. We're printing T-shirts in our living room.
We're just kids. Everyone's trying to buy our business.
Yeah, we don't know. I don't know.
I didn't know. I didn't go to school for this.
So that's great. So you're having really good success with Reason. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's been a great time. I mean, we've taken it from.
I still have your sticker, bro. The first sticker you guys made.
I know, and that's a part of the culture too. It's like graffiti, and you know, like I grew up like being a graffiti kid. You know, like sneaking out and tagging shit, and now we make stickers and do the same thing, but we're promoting a business.
Yep.
And we're selling a product.
How'd you just come up with the name Reason?
I can tell you exactly why. You know, I remember I had a girlfriend in early high school, and she was arguing with her parents, and she was like, you know, like, why are you doing this to me? Like I don't want to do this, whatever. What's your reason? Like, what is your reason? And that kind of like struck a chord with me, and was like, you know, what is my reason? Like, what am I doing? Reason is my reason. You know, like, this is why I get out of bed. This is why I do what I do. This is why I work like 80 hours a week. This is why I'm going to be retired by I'm 40. Reason is my reason. Simple as that. And everyone has their own reason.
That's right. And you love what you do.
Oh, I really do. I really love what I do. And everything I do. I love, like, just getting up and going to work.
So take us through a day. Take us through your day. You wake up.
Okay.
Take us through a day.
Do you wake up before 9
Oh, I wake
o'clock?
up early. But first of all, let's talk about my night before, maybe, because that's really when it
Yeah.
starts.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, you know, go to the club, DJ, get yelled at maybe by someone because
You're not playing the songs they want?
I don't know. People just like to yell.
Yeah.
All right, well, whatever. You know, have a drink, play some music, crowd goes wild, slap hands on the way out, 4:30, 4 a.m., I don't know. Go to bed. 3 hours later, 4 hours later, you're up. You're walking your dog, you're getting your shower in, you're getting back on the train, you're going to work. You're in your showroom, you're in your office, answering emails. You're in the office before anyone else. Sending out your emails, just doing your due diligence, reminding your managers and your agents, coworkers, business partners about things. Stressed out, you're hungry, haven't ate, didn't eat breakfast. You're a little cranky.
Do you try to eat healthy?
I try, but with this business and this line of work, like, you're forced to eat pizza.
Yes, a lot.
Yeah. I mean, recently and in the past couple of years, you know, like, you gotta be healthy. You gotta, like, exercise. You gotta do fun things. You gotta live your life.
Yeah, of course.
And that's also what I always, like, preach to all my friends and, like, people in the industry. It's like, live your life, you know? Like, don't let this go by and, like, you blink an eye and you're like, whoa, I just worked and DJ'd and I had no fun. I didn't do anything that I, like, really can look back and be like, wow, that was fun. Like, I sweat. Like, that was cool. I had a great meal that I didn't, like, had to sleep off. But then after work, you know, get to spend a little time with your loved ones and, you know, your dogs or whatever you have. And what I do, I have a dog, so, you know. But back to work, you know, China wakes up at 9 p.m., 9 a.m., you know.
Speaking
it's a
of China,
24-hour business.
China, you're going there like 2-3 times a year now, right?
Yes. China's fun, you know, it's a land of opportunity, I like to say. You know, ironic enough. But, you know, I like to also say the American dream is made in China. But it's true, you know, like, you can make anything you want.
You don't have to make China great again.
No, it's been great. No, but seriously. Yeah, China, and we took all of our production to China probably like 5 or 6 years ago. Probably the smartest thing we ever did. Everyone's always hating on us for leaving American soil and leaving manufacturing jobs, but honestly, we have to do what's best for our business and our coworkers' lives. You know, everyone needs to make more money, and the only way we can do that is if we outsource some of those production things.
Sure.
Higher margins, it just makes sense.
Yep.
So how is it getting product into the United States, and, you know, what are your lead times like? How does that whole process work?
Lead times aren't bad. I mean, lead times are going to be long no matter what. You know, it takes time to make clothes. You know, there's cutting, there's sewing, there's embroidery, there's screen printing. It just takes time, you know.
And the quality, though, that comes out of China is very good now.
Oh, very good. They've learned a lot. They can do anything you can think about.
So here's a question. How would you say DJing helped your clothing line?
You know, that's a good question, because I always get asked this question, and I always can tell them, you know, like, I am hands-on in the war zone, seeing what kids are doing, what they're wearing, what they're getting excited about, like the way their facial expressions change when they see something they like or hear something they like. And it's just allowed me to, like, work quicker and faster. You know, like, if I'm in the club and I see, like, the newest Gucci polo being worn, I'm like, well, you know what? This thing came out yesterday. The kids are already buying it. Reason needs to have their answer to that. We need to make that. We need to do it today. You're going to design it. You're going to make it. We'll put it on. Send it out to China. We're going to have the sample back in a week. We're going to send it to our buyers. We're going to have the order in another week. We'll deliver it in 2 months.
So being in the club gives you a step ahead.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, it's a really important part of the business to just be hands-on and to see what's going on out there on the ground level.
How do you go about how do you go about hiring talent for your company?
It's a long process, and we're constantly always turning over people because, you know, things don't work out, and, you know, sometimes the most, you know, talented people will get better offers. You know, like, we can't afford to pay them the top salary that some of the bigger corporations that we're competing with. You know, obviously we're competing with these big brands, you know, the Nikes and the LRG or Adidas, and, you know, like, they're snatching up all the great designers and merchandisers and production people. You know, like, why would someone want to come work for us? Well, you know, we've interviewed people on both sides of the spectrum, and you know what? Some people prefer to work in a smaller environment where their boss is literally sitting right next to them, and they don't even have to knock on the door. They just walk in and say, you know, like, what do you think about this? And that's kind of the advantage we have. It's like open door policy, small business. Everyone's just right there, you know, like, as we grow, you grow.
Yeah, and I guess for these people, they're going to learn a lot more working in a smaller environment where, you know, There's less red tape. It's less bureaucratic, and you're getting shit done, and they're making an impact more than they would be at maybe another company.
Yeah, exactly right.
Well, look, man, I'm happy you're here. Got to tell your story.
Thank you.
Reason's dope. I want some shirts. Some
I know I'm gonna send you
jeans.
guys like a pallet of stuff. It's gonna be like 6 by 6 by and like 16 boxes.
We got,
all
Yeah,
plenty,
well-
we got plenty of room for you.
We'll
know.
take it.
I was
Plenty of
thinking
room.
like, could
We'll
we
take
put a
it.
little warehouse of Reason gear?
Yeah, we'll rent it out at a good price.
So did you put something special together?
All my favorites, just music that I like. And you know what? That's my whole style. You know, like when I go out and play at a club, like I don't care really what you want to listen to, even though I do, slightly in the back of my mind. It's all about what I want to hear, and then because I am my own best customer. You know, like, and that's also why I make clothes for people like me, because I can appeal to them pretty easily. 'Cause I'm my own best customer.
Dope, but we're looking forward to hearing it, bro.
All right, thank
I'm
you.
a XL, Mike's a medium.
Price, thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
coming
guys.
on, bro.
Thank you.
We'll take a 2-minute break when we get price up on the decks.
Peace.